help teens escape the procrastination trap. Hey there! Today I'd like to chat with you a bit about a topic that I'm sure every parent has wrestled with at some point. How to help our teenage kids break free from the procrastination trap. You know, procrastination is like a deep pit. Anyone can fall into it. Even you and me, let alone the kids. But for them, it's especially important that we step in to help. Because if we don't, it can easily turn into a vicious cycle that's tough to escape. So today, I'll share with you a few key ideas that I think are super important. And then we can dive deeper into each one together. Sound good? First off, let me touch on a core idea that I really believe in. Procrastination isn't something you can just shake off easily. It's like a late night snacking habit. You know it's bad, but you keep doing it anyway. That's why we need to equip the kids with skills to tackle it, while also being patient and understanding if they slip back into old habits. Second, if we don't address it early, procrastination just gets worse, like an oil spill spreading into all sorts of trouble. So we've got to help them get to the root of the problem. And finally, to beat procrastination, they need a solid foundation of good habits that reduce stress and boost their confidence in school and life. Sounds intriguing, right? Alright, let's dig into each part now. Understanding procrastination first. Before anything else, we need to get a handle on what procrastination really is. Have you ever wondered why kids keep putting things off? This is where I'll tell you about the nature of procrastination, that thing we've all fallen victim to at least once in our lives. Honestly, it's crazy common. I bet even you've delayed stuff like cleaning the house, making a phone call, or hitting the gym, right? For teens, especially students, it's even easier to slip into this trap. And here's the thing. Every kid procrastinates for different reasons. So there's no one size fits all fix. The key is helping them dig deep to figure out why they're avoiding what needs to be done. I came across a cool definition of procrastination once. It's like voluntarily postponing something you've planned to do, even though you know it'll lead to worse consequences. Sound familiar? For kids, those consequences aren't small potatoes either. Some teens have told me they feel stressed, guilty, disappointed, and anxious, all at once, when they procrastinate. The fallout? Late tuition payments, half-baked assignments, dropping grades, shattered personal goals, and even strained relationships with teachers and family because they make promises they can't keep. A lot of parents like to point fingers and say, "It's because you're glued to social media, movies, or video games all day." And sure, the kids do use those as shields. But sometimes they come up with even sneakier excuses, like organizing their books, chatting with family, or napping to dodge studying. But here's the thing, those are just surface-level distractions, not the real root cause. To help them escape this trap, we've got to look deeper. And that root is different for every kid. There's this procrastination cycle I've come across that feels spot on. First, the kids get an assignment or task. Then, out of nowhere, this uncomfortable feeling hits. Like they just don't want to do it. So they procrastinate and find ways to avoid it. And when they succeed in dodging it, they feel instant relief. But that relief is fleeting because they know the consequences are lurking around the corner. Our job is to help them recognize that initial discomfort and figure out how to push through it instead of running away. Emotions that push kids into the trap. Next up, let's talk about the emotions that drag kids into the procrastination trap. This part's pretty interesting because emotions are the real culprits here. Researchers have found that procrastination often stems from tough feelings like fear of failure, fear of rejection, feeling inadequate, or just plain boredom. From what I've seen, there are three main types of emotions that teens tend to wrestle with most. First, anxiety. The kids get stressed out because they've got a mountain of tasks and don't trust their own abilities. I remember my daughter once staring at a pile of homework with this pale, panicked look, like, how am I ever going to manage this? For these kids, we need to help them accept risks and focus on small steps instead of stressing about the whole universe. Second, daydreaming. These kids have grand plans but lose steam when the work feels too boring or too hard. I once asked a kid, "Why aren't you doing your homework?" He goes, "Oh, I was imagining getting an A." Funny, but kinda sad too. They need to get comfy with discomfort and cut back on excuses. Finally, perfectionism. These little ones set high goals. Everything's gotta be perfect or nothing at all. But life's not that neat. So they get overwhelmed and do zilch. With them, we should teach them to aim for balanced excellence instead of 100% perfection every time. Each emotion needs a different approach. For the perfectionist, we could suggest setting time limits for tasks and learning to accept mistakes. For the anxious one, small rewards for taking a chance can work wonders. And for the dreamer, teach them to tell the difference between short-term comfort and the satisfaction of getting stuff done. I love switching their self-talk from, "I'll try," to, "I'll do it now." It's way more determined. But talking to kids about procrastination isn't easy. They flip into defense mode fast. Still, if nothing changes, the cost is stress and slipping grades. So we've got to stick with it. Try sitting them down for a chill, judgment-free chat, or even rope in teachers or counselors to pinpoint the cause. The goal is to encourage them to come up with 4.5 small, doable changes, something they feel accountable for and motivated by. Practical steps to beat procrastination. Finally, let's get to the action part. How to overcome procrastination with concrete steps. This is where we share some handy tips to help the kids. I've got a list of super practical ideas here. First, break those huge tasks into tiny bites, like eating a cake, one piece at a time. Second, use stuff they love, movies, games, as rewards for finishing things. But don't save rewards just for the weekend or semester's end. Sprinkle them throughout to keep them hooked. Then, try starting with the task they hate most. Knock out the tough stuff, and the rest feels like candy. One trick I adore is the 10-minute technique. Tell them to try a task for just 10 minutes. Usually, once they start, they'll keep going. Switching up their study spot helps too, like a library or a quiet nook to cut distractions. Also, split study time into 30-minute chunks with short breaks so they don't burn out. Set a fixed start time. Early is best. Not scrambling at midnight. Mix in creative, fun learning methods to keep boredom at bay. And lastly, make 2 lists. One daily, one weekly, specific and linked, so they can see where they're headed. So there you go. Helping teens escape the procrastination trap isn't a quick fix. But with patience and these tricks, I'm confident they'll get better bit by bit. What do you think? Wanna try this with your kids? Let me know how it goes.